All right, it's media day, and we're talking 6-5A Division II with Midlothian Heritage Coach Eric Edwards. Coach, you had a fun time last year. You rolled through that district, and you rolled through the season undefeated until ran in them juggernauts at South Oak Cliff. Um, but the district's changed since realignment. A couple of those mainstays took off to other districts, and you're left with still with some of them. But looking at the overall district, how do you feel about where you're at now and the type of teams you'll be facing?
Yeah, man. Again, I appreciate everything that you guys do and cover, and just I think it's gonna be very similar. To be honest, I think you could compare the teams that left our district to go into another very difficult loaded district, and the ones that we're adding from kind of a couple different places. But that's really, to me, it's going to be very very similar. I think there's similarities and again with the teams that are no longer in the district and the ones that are added in, with with Terrell and with Crandall and Mesquite Petite and Green Bull, Kaufman. It's kind of gone up and down a little bit of with their classification. That's all places that have been successful, have traditions, that have won a lot of football games, and you lose Joshua and Burleson and Mansfield Summit and Arlington Seguin, and with some really good coaches and programs. And again, I think it's just comparable with who's adding and compared to who's leaving.
Well, the one thing that's good for you is who's not leaving is your quarterback and a couple of your stud receivers. Talk about the advantage of having a guy like Rutenbar back that was so successful for you last year. He's got some of his favorite targets out there, with Carter out there and Robinson. Just talk about how the offense should still be clicking, although you may be replacing a running back. Maybe you can tell me that if you have somebody waiting in the wings for me.
Yeah, just I'm very excited about our skill group. Some really good players, really smart players, and kind of a common trend for years here in the program's history is we take some of these young skill players, and a lot of times we take them on defense and kind of grow them and toughen them up and develop a little bit more football IQ. And by the time they're juniors and seniors, they flip over and now they get the ball more and get to go get some stats and touchdowns and all that good stuff. But that's kind of what we have. We have some guys that have played on both sides of the ball, multi-year starters, and Carter's the most valuable person on the team. Man, he's a competitor, multi-sport guy that it really don't matter what it is. He's probably competitive to a fault, honestly, but he is very talented, very skilled. Had an awesome year last year with being his first year, really, really at the helm and excelled, and we're excited for him. Again, definitely a huge part to this team's success. Starts every play with him. So, and then trying to surround him with some dang good players and some running backs and juniors, some seniors and guys that you can make an argument they might be a better linebacker or a running back or a slot receiver or a safety. There's just a lot of guys kind of in that boat that, man, they could play a few different things and Swiss Army knives all over the place. So that's exciting for us to figure out how to use those guys and best utilize them.
How are the Jags looking defensively this year? Where do we kind of need players to step up where graduation may have taken away?
Yeah, we graduated some great players. Um, Tamarick Johnson and Maxim Newton, Noah O'Neill, guys that led our team in production, and was pretty impressive. And that's always that's always going to be a tough one when you talk about guys in the trenches with defensive linemen and linebackers that impact games. So we'll be young. We'll be young up front. We'll be young on a linebacker room. But again, there's some young guys with skill that going having the lecture bell go through spring ball right now. You're going to evaluate and see some things, and we're really excited about. Think we're going to be maybe as fast as we've ever been as far as the 11 guys on the field and be able to run to the football. And it's good with enough experience of guys in certain spots, surrounded with some new faces that'll get in there and it'll be their first years on varsity and all that kind of good stuff.
Amen. And that I guess lastly, let's talk about you got a couple non-district games. Who you guys playing this year, and what do you hope to get out of them to kind of get you ready for the district play?
Sure, man. Well, we start off with scrimmage and with Waxahachie right down the road here to Coach Tollison, who that's always a really good eye-opening test for us. With they got some good players in a tough district, and then we go to Stephenville week 1, and that's actually my hometown, but had a no, it's not a rivalry, but we just have had some great games and been in the district for years together and playing in non-district years before that. So we've played Stephenville's several years now and had some really good games. So we're looking forward to that, and I think they'll have a great team. I have a really good chance to win a state championship in 4A. So that was one that we wanted to keep on, and then week 2 going to Argyle and know all about them, and I think they're going to have a great team. And again, coaching staff there and has done a great job and have a history of winning. So that's something that we wanted to put on the schedule to go play teams that have won it and have been there. And then week 3, our last non-district game will be with Texarkana, Texas High, who have some great players. They were had a deep run last year and had a great team, and again, very well coached, and those guys have been there, and that's who we wanted. No easy task at all. Got to stay healthy, because then we start district the next week with Greenville, and we can't have guys hurt, and as that's just important at every level. You got to keep your guys healthy and get to district fully loaded. But we're excited about the scrimmage and the 3 games leading up into district play. I think we'll know a lot about ourselves, and if we're 0-3, but we're very clear with our guys. If we figure it out, then it was worth it. And to schedule the best, in my opinion, non-district, that's what we wanted to do, and we're going to go after it. And so, we're excited about it.
That's perfect. Yeah, all 3 of those games are bangers, and I was marking them off as you were telling me. I was like, oh, it looks like we're gonna have Heritage on the old program a lot this year. But I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you for joining us, and good luck in the upcoming season.
You bet. Appreciate you. If you need anything, just holler.